Welcome to TechNOW. I'm your host, John Reid, CEO of CATA Alliance. And today, from his office in Montreal, we're joined by Gaétan Houle, EY's National IT Security Leader. On a very important announcement, EY has released their 17th annual Global Information Security Survey. And that really is in sync with a lot of the work CATA is doing in cybersecurity. So, Gaétan, can you share with us some perspectives on that survey? Why was it done? What were the key findings?
Well, key findings, this is the 17th time that Ernst & Young does this survey. Not surprisingly, this year, the three main themes that come up is cybersecurity threats keep increasing, and most companies are still struggling. The three main reasons why they're struggling is for a lot of them, their inability to adapt. They're too big, too complex, mergers, acquisitions take place, and the integration of IT and IT security just happens at the end. It's an afterthought. So that's the first factor. The other factor, every year it's been like that, not enough budget. And also, as the complexity of the mechanisms to protect the infrastructure get more and more complex. Why? Because the business gets more complex. We want to give people access to the information from everywhere using their own devices anytime. We're going in the cloud, etc., etc. So it's becoming extremely complex to secure. So what's happening is companies find themselves having difficulty recruiting the right talent to secure their environment. So these are the three main themes. So difficulty to adapt, lack of budget, and access to qualified resources.
Now, what was your survey population? I know you interview a pretty significant cross-section of leaders. What's the size of your validation base from
1,800 participants.
So just out of interest, how do you manage to cover so many interviews? I guess you've been doing it for 17 years, but are these large companies, small companies? What's the nature of that survey base?
So first of all, Ernst & Young has over 177,000 employees worldwide. So we have offices in pretty much every country. We approach government institutions, large institutions like financial institutions. We also approach small companies, medium size. We want to have a good cross section. Why? Because we want people to be able to find themselves in this report whereby, yeah, this is where we fit, etc. And we're able, because of the volume that we have, we're able to do an analysis by industry. For example, I'll be in Vancouver this week presenting to the mining industry, and I'll be talking about, okay, out of this report, here's what the people working in the mining industry are saying. Because in there, if you look at it, everything's been blended. A lot of companies say, well, I'm not a bank, and I don't want to compare myself to a bank, and rightly so. So we're able to say, okay, you're in the mining industry. Here's how you can compare against your peers. Okay, and for those who participate, because it takes about an hour. I mean, it's quite a comprehensive survey. It takes about an hour to complete the survey, and not every people and everybody's prepared to spend that amount of time. For those who do, what we offer is, okay, we'll go and see you after you've completed the survey, and we have to compile all the results, and we'll tell you, based on your responses, how you compare with the rest of the world, how you compare with your industry, how you compare in Canada, North America, etc. So it's a bit of it turns out to be, for those who participate, it can be a free benchmark exercise for them if they wish to do so.
Well, you know, it's so important in Canada that we look at global best practices, and I'm wondering if this is a true statement. I think companies are very concerned about their brand. So my understanding is many companies don't really make transparent or indicate they've been breached. So we have an understatement in terms of the seriousness of the problem. Would that be an observation that you would agree with?
Very true. And again, this survey will highlight the fact that the level of preoccupation by senior executive is increasing. Yet, when you go to the boardroom, and if you were to do a survey asking how many minutes or hours per year was security discussed, or part of the agenda, okay, you'd find that throughout the whole year, cybersecurity did not make it more than 5 hours in a boardroom. Okay, so this is what the big disconnect is, and as indicated in our survey, top executives continue to see cybersecurity or IT security as a technical issue, and yet that technical issue can have tremendous impact on the brand, on the bottom line.
Well, I know you're going to be joining us on November 12th and 13th, where we're holding a national cybersecurity forum. We're creating a board. We're going to create a roadmap on how to address cybersecurity. But I wanted to end our discussion with a personal request. Over the weekend, my bank account was hacked, and I discovered multiple charges that I didn't make. So we've got corporate issues here. What's your advice to individual Canadians? How should we address cyber threats to individuals?
That's a very good question. The average person doesn't know how to do it. They think, oh, I have a firewall, I have an antivirus, I'm okay. A lot of precautions to take, the way you manage your passwords. Like, for example, my passwords, every time I log into an account on the internet, I have 15 characters, alphanumerical. People tend to have very two simple passwords. They need to check their account regularly, not because otherwise things pile up and then it's too late. You have to know who to call. Like at your bank, who would you call? Do you dial just the 800 number? Okay, I personally have a good relationship with my bank manager. She knows me with my first name, and we talk about, obviously not about security, also about financial issues, but if I had a security problem, I'd phone my manager, not the 800 number that they ask you to call, because that's the kind of personal services I would expect to obtain from my bank. So you have to stay on top of things, and for the average internet user, it starts with having a strong password.
Well, Gaétan, you've achieved our objective to share and educate the community. I've taken notes on your personal advice. Again, congratulations, 17th annual survey, validated by multiple interviews. You know, truly EY is a thought leader in the field, so thank you for joining us from your offices in Montreal this morning.
You're most welcome. See you next week.